Good evening, everyone. With a quorum of members present, I'll get the Finance Committee for Tuesday, October 9th, 2018, call it to order and get started. We have a lengthy agenda tonight. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of our previous meeting from 9/25 of 19. The minutes were posted in the packets. Are there any revisions necessary? If not, a motion to approve the minutes would be appropriate. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make that motion, Madam
Motion
Chair.
by Nutting. Is there a second? Second by Martins. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. Item number 2 is discussion and possible action on approving an assistance to firefighters grant application in the amount estimated at $115,000 for the purchase of EMS equipment. The City of Wausau estimated match obligation is $10,454. Now, is it 115,000 or is it 11,500? Because the comma's in a funny spot, but
115.
it is 115. Okay, so we're missing a zero on there, so I did say it right, 115,000. And assistance to firefighters grants for equipment we've submitted before, but the committee would need to authorize the fire department to move forward and pursue that funding. Does anyone have questions for Chief Gujawa? Go ahead, Dennis.
Can somebody explain to me, what is our share of this? I read somewhere, I thought it was 10,000 some dollars.
It is
Yeah, it's a-
Okay, is that
10,454.
budgeted? Do we have that money? And,
It's a 90-10 grant, yep.
pardon me?
It's a 90-10 grant. The federal government will pay 90% of the 115,000 and we'll pay the 10%.
Okay, but that wasn't my question. My question
Is
is,
it
we have
budgeted
that
for?
money set aside, right?
Yes, so it would come out of our PC replacement fund, because, we have a fund that our computer equipment comes out of, which is in that capital purchases fund.
Okay.
So, historically, we used to have where departments would budget their own computer equipment replacement within their own budget. But it caused a lot of difficulties because, let's say assessment, who has a very small budget, would for a 4-year or 5-year period of time not need any computer equipment, and then they would need replacements. And everybody would be like, oh my gosh, assessment budget is going up 20% or whatever. And so we decided, this was years and years ago, that we would create this computer equipment purchase fund. And so then, 1 year assessment is purchasing out of it, 1 year police are purchasing out of it. And so we budget a flat $93,000 a year out of that. And when people's replacements need to be accomplished, it comes out of that fund.
Okay,
And then
that's
you,
in the capital improvement.
yes. Well,
Okay.
now it's in the capital.
They used to
purchasing
compete
fund.
through CIP for new
Yes.
computers, and we would, cut them year after year after year until everyone needed computers. So they can keep up easier if we have a dedicated fund, and then whatever department needs some, they just get them from that source. So this is where we'd get that from. Do we have a motion then to approve the fire department to move forward to pursue the funding? Motion by Martins. Is there a second? Second by Nutting. Further discussion or questions?
I just got a
Go ahead, Mike.
quick question. So I guess Dennis's question kind of begs my question. So cardiac monitors are considered computer equipment then, or is that just?
It's an equipment
I think so.
replacement fund in general, isn't it? I mean, it's
Okay.
not just PCs, because we also
Right,
replace,
It's all computer equipment. Yep.
and more than computer, isn't it? I mean, we also then are squirreling away in there for other critical equipment, aren't we?
Correct. Yes, yes.
So,
So we
like-
have multiple. So fire has their regular equipment fund, which I think in 2019 has a budget of 30,000. Police has their own.
Right. It's key
general
equipment
government.
replacement. It
Yep.
isn't just technology.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just wanted to be sure was more generic than just.
It's more generic than that. It's
Okay.
equipment that comes due for cyclical replacement that has a limited lifespan.
Okay,
So,
And the good thing about this is, obviously, $115,000 is quite a bit of money, and if we only have to pay $10,000 of that 115, if we're able to get this grant, obviously, they're at their end of life. These computers are 7 years old, these monitors 7 years old, and the end of life is 7 years. So we'd be looking at replacing them, and it'd be nice, obviously, for the city only to have to pay $10,500 as opposed to $115,000 for these monitors, so,
it's good stuff.
yep.
Okay, with a motion and a second on the floor, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? None are opposed, that motion carries. Item number 3 is discussion and possible action on repealing and recreating Section 12.08.020, when bids need not be submitted. And Mary Ann can walk us through this if you have some questions. It appears that we're just clarifying our purchasing provisions so that when we have the skills in-house,
Right.
that those skills can be utilized. Does any,
So 62.15 requires public construction be bid out, and there's a section in that state statute that says we can perform the work internally if we have a provision within our own law that allows us to do that. And so we had that highlighted in our municipal code. We had been working with Quarles and Brady regarding some questions about whether the installation of the parking pay stations was public construction. And they recommended during that conversation that we expand our definition or our description of the type of work that we were allowing ourselves to perform directly. So really, it's just an expansion of language describing all of the type of work that Public Works
May have a
already
skill set
currently-
for?
Yes, and
Okay.
we are already doing this work. We're just improving our articulation in the code.
okay. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Nutting, is there a second? Second by Smith. Further discussion or questions? Go ahead, Dennis.
So basically, we don't have to go out for bids if we're going to tear a house down ourselves, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None are opposed, that motion carries as well. Item number 4 is discussion and possible action regarding health insurance plan design for 2019. This comes to us from the HR committee, who every year takes stock of our benefit offerings and makes a recommendation for the plan that should be adopted for the upcoming year. And we have the HR director with us, if you'd want to walk us through the plan and take some questions if there's any, Tony?
Sure. Unlike last year, there's very minimal changes for this year. We're staying with all of our same insurance carriers. The premium cost for health insurance would go up 2.5%, which is actually half of the national average. Dental insurance would remain the same, so would all of the other incidental insurances like critical illness and accident and et cetera. Vision is going up the most, which is 11%, but it's actually a very minimal increase because that's quite cheap. We went to market on vision, and that was the best deal we could find, and that's with our current provider.
Okay.
And then we're just adjusting contribution limits to stay in compliance with the IRS.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for the HR director on the plan design? If not, is there a motion to approve the benefit schedule for next year?
So move.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second? A second by Martins. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None are opposed. That plan is approved. Item number 5 is discussion and possible action on a resolution authorizing the submittal of an intent to apply for financial assistance from the State of Wisconsin Environmental Improvement Fund, Clean Water Fund for the Sewer Collection System Upgrade Project. You'll recall when we had our couple of committee of the wholes where we had the consultant in, there's a deadline for which we have to indicate our intention to apply for this state aid to assist with our water and wastewater treatment projects that are on the horizon. We have the Public Works Director with us if anyone has any questions, but this is really just clarifying that we intend to apply for funding. Is there a motion to approve? Go ahead. Motion by Smith. Is there a second? Second by Kelbach. Discussion or questions? Go ahead.
Eric, can you come forward and explain exactly what we're doing here? I've read this thing 3 times, and it's more difficult to understand than Chinese arithmetic. I just don't,
Sure, no
So
problem.
we, as I understand it from reading this, so I thought my head was going to explode. We're just applying for this grant, and this grant is coming from, I don't know, the Wizard of Oz or whoever gives grants like that. And then we're going to use it to, we do our water system or so on.
Yeah, so this is actually
this one would be under the Clean Water Fund, the environmental loan program. So it's a federally subsidized loan program, so the interest rates are really low, and it's geared really for projects like this. And so this is administered through the DNR, and so that's who we would be applying for. Now, this is what we call an intent to apply. What it does is it reserves our right to apply up to that amount. In this case, it would be $85 million. And so our actual application for the actual funding for 2020 would not happen until October of 2019, 1 year from now.
All right, but this is going to be a loan, so eventually we're going to have to pay it back, is that correct?
It is a loan, yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
So that would be put in future budgets or so on?
With the user rates for the
Oh, so
sewer
this would be
utility.
like a revenue
That's correct.
bond, okay, so this isn't paid for by tax money?
No, it's not. No.
Okay.
And the
It's-
utility does the borrowing, correct?
That is correct. The utility does the borrowing.
And this one really is the sewer collection system, so it's the $12 million one.
Right, the sewer collection, okay, yep, you're right, Mary Ann, thank you.
Yep, we have three
thi-
of 'em
thi-
on tonight,
This is
so-
the collection system, so we're reserving our right up to $12 million to borrow.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
all
Yep.
right. So we have a motion and a second on the floor. Members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. These are all kind of interrelated. So item number 6 is discussion and possible action on a resolution authorizing submittal of an intent to apply for financial assistance from the State of Wisconsin Environmental Improvement Fund, Clean Water Fund, for the wastewater treatment facility upgrade project. Same core group of projects, same process. Does anyone have questions for Eric? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve. Motion by Kelbach, is there a second? Second by Martins. Members in favor of the oh, go ahead, Dennis. Yep.
Okay, all three of these are revenue bonds then, right?
Well, they're loans, but they're paid for through the user rates.
The revenue produced by the
That's
city water
correct.
department?
Yes, they
Okay,
are.
thank you.
Yep,
Yep.
you're welcome.
Okay. With a motion and a second on the floor, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None are opposed, that motion carries. Item number 7 is discussion and possible action on a resolution authorizing submittal of an intent to apply for financial assistance from the State of Wisconsin Environmental Improvement Fund Safe Drinking Loan Program for the Water Treatment Facilities Improvement Project. This one's an intent to apply from a different program within the same core group. Does anyone have questions for Eric? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second? Second by Smith. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None are opposed, that motion carries as well. Item number 8 is discussion and possible action on a resolution providing for the sale of approximately $5,480,000 of general obligation promissory notes, Series 2018A. And we've got, these are kind of interrelated items as well. These are the 2018 borrowing that's coming forward from within our budget, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for Mary Ann? These are resolutions that were already included in our budget. Go ahead, Dennis.
We're borrowing this money for what purpose? Is this been tagged for a particular project?
Yes, so the first resolution is for the $5,480,000 of promissory notes, and that is financing $2,002,000 of our regular capital projects, which the majority of that would be street improvements. And then $2,900,000 for Thomas Street land acquisition, which is in tax increment district number 6, and Callan Street improvements of $486,000, which also is in tax increment district number 6. So they bundled that together, and along with debt issuance costs, brought that total up to the $5,480,000. So the $2,200,000 for the regular capital projects would be amortized or paid back by the city over a 10-year period, and the Thomas Street and the Callan street improvements, because that district is getting ready to terminate in 2025, that will be retired over a 7-year period. So they basically just take those pots of money and come up with separate amortization schedules and then combine it and sell the bonds in that fashion. So it really will have a faster retirement than we would typically see with our general 10-year promissory notes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And this is a preliminary resolution, so it would be coming back to you for final consideration on November 13th, on the day of sale.
Okay. With a motion and a second on the floor, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. Item number 9 is discussion and possible action on a resolution providing for the sale of approximately $5,055,000 water system and sewer system revenue bond anticipation notes, Series 2018B. Now, this is the borrowing from within the utility, correct? Is the
Correct.
Okay.
This is going to pay for the engineering services related to the facility improvements. So this is basically a 2-year note. And then when we get our clean water fund and our safe drinking fund money, we will use the proceeds of that to retire these bonds.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for Mary Ann?
Is item 9 worth discussing?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Nutting, is there a second? Second by Kelbach. Further discussion or questions? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That item carries. Item number 10 is discussion and possible action on a resolution providing for the sale of approximately $8,015,000 taxable note anticipation notes, Series 2018C. This is also a component of our 2018 anticipated borrowing. Does anyone have questions for Mary Ann on this particular group of notes? Go ahead, Dennis.
Okay, it's deja vu all over again. So what is this for?
This is for Wausau Chemical. So this will be funded in TID 11, which is the business campus. Half of it will be funded out of TID 11, and half of it will be funded out of TID 12, which is our river, I guess, and downtown district. This note is taxable note anticipation note. So if you recall last year, we had done a similar type of borrowing for the infrastructure improvements out at the new business campus. And this has a balloon payment in 2023 to pay off the entire amount, and we'll be making interest-only payments between now and then, with the goal being that once Great Lakes Cheese is up and running and we have a firm value of what that facility is worth, and once Wausau Chemical is constructed and that value is known, we can refinance these long-term, and we will know our revenue stream, and then we will be able to establish a final amortization schedule. So this note in particular is due in full in 2023, but it will have a call provision that we can call it earlier if we would know what our revenue stream is, and then we would be able to refinance it at that time.
Without penalty?
Without penalty, yes.
Okay. All right. Additional questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Nutting, is there a second? Second by Martins. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We'll record one no. That motion carries.
And so, as part of this, we said, these preliminary resolutions will go to the next council meeting, and then November 13th would be the actual sale date. And so Ellers will attend that meeting. They will come and provide the results of the sale, and then the sale will be approved or considered by council for approval that evening. And we are expecting the debt proceeds to be available around December 4th.
Okay. And item number 11 is discussion and possible action on increasing staffing levels of the bus operator 2 position by 1 and decreasing the staffing levels for the bus operator 1 position by 1. This request comes from Metro Ride, and we do have Director Soibert with us if you have questions on that. We also have the HR Director. Does anyone have questions on shifting those 2 employee volume levels? If not, is there a motion to approve? Motion by Martins, is there a second? Second by Nutting. Further discussion or questions? Hearing and seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. Item number 12 is discussion and possible action on accepting the appraisals or counteroffers for properties on the Phase 2 of the Thomas Street Reconstruction Project. Parcel 1 at 320 West Thomas Street, Parcel 28 at 101 East Thomas Street, Parcel 45 at 146 East Thomas Street, and Parcel 48 at 212 East Thomas Street. We have this item and the next one both posted for closed session. So I'll ask before we read the closed sessions and item 13, is there open session discussion items on these before we would adjourn to closed? There is not. Okay. And then item number 13 is discussion and possible action on accepting the offering price report for Parcel 1 at 1225 Grand Avenue, Parcel 2 at 1228 Prospect Avenue, Parcel 3, 702 Town Line Road, Parcel 6, 714 Town Line Road, Parcel 14, 1303 Grand Avenue, Parcel 47, 1204 Town Line Road, and Parcel 58, 1220 to 1224 Town Line Road for the Town Line Road project. Any open session dialogue on these items either? There is not. All right, so then I'll entertain motions to go into closed session on both items, and we'll discuss them in closed session then, and if there's open session action to take, we'll reconvene in open session. If there is not, the committee could adjourn in closed session. Is there a volunteer to read the first one, number 14? Go ahead, Dennis. Thank you. You did. You did. But Karen just breathed a sigh of relief.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. So.
Karen will be next. Turn your mic on.
Whoops.
Thank you. I wouldn't want them to miss a word.
That's right.
Okay, I'll start over again. I move we go into closed session pursuant to 19.85, paragraph 1, section E of the Wisconsin statute for deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business wherever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session on accepting the appraisals or counteroffers for the properties on the Phase 2 of the Thomas Street Reconstruction Project, Parcels 1, 320 West Thomas Street, 28, 101 West Thomas Street, Parcel 45, 146 East Thomas Street, and Parcel 48, 212 East Thomas Street.
Okay, do we have a second to Dennis's motion? Second by Kelbach. Roll call vote. Nutting?
Aye.
Martins?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Kelbach?
Aye.
I'll vote aye as well. And then I'll accept a motion on item 15, and we'll vote on that one as well, and then we can discuss both items in closed session. Do we have a volunteer to read item 15?
I haven't read for a while.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, great.
Thanks.
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to 19.85, paragraph 1, section E of the Wisconsin statutes for deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session on accepting offering price report for Parcel 1, 1225 Grand Avenue, Parcel 2, 1228 Prospect Avenue, Parcel 3, 702 Town Line Road, Parcel 6, 714 Town Line Road, Parcel 14, 1303 Grand Avenue, Parcel 47, 1204 Town Line Road, and Parcel 58, 1220 to 1224 Town Line Road for the Town Line Road project.
Okay, do we have a second to Mike's motion? Second by Smith. Roll call vote. Kelbach?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Martins?
Aye.
Nutting?
Aye.
I'll vote aye as well. Committee will convene in the Maple Room in closed session, and we'll return to this chamber if open session is necessary. Okay, since we went into closed session with all of these items listed on the same agenda item, I think we can do one motion. Do we have a motion from the Finance Committee to approve the purchase of Parcel 45, 146 East Thomas Street for an amount of $70,000 plus 6 months of rent loss, and Parcel 48 at 212 East Thomas Street at a purchase price of $93,900?
So moved, Madam Chair.
We have a motion by Nutting. Is there a second? Second by Kelbach. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. And those items will go forward then to Common Council. Not for tonight. Subsequent meeting. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Smith. Is there a second? Second by Martins. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll stand adjourned, and Common Council will start in this chamber at 7 o'clock. Thanks, everyone.